All right, in this video, we're going to start building the foundational design of this program. We're going to make sure we have a nice workspace up top where we separate all the buttons and all the colors from the rest of the program. So it's kind of in this neat area where it's not going to intervene with anything else. And then we're just going to start adding all the buttons and everything and make sure that it's all looking nice. All right, so first we're going to go ahead and upload all the paint costumes. And you can just use the downloaded file that we've provided and just upload all of those files, and just like that they should all come up here, and we're just gonna not worry about them for now. We're gonna leave them be. Then we're gonna restructure them up here once we have a nice working space. So what we want to do is we want to first create a rectangle. So we just come here, make sure you grab some sort of a grayish kind of color. All right, so a little bit of a light gray, and just create a rectangle like that, and make sure that it covers the whole screen right over here, because we want to cover it edge to edge. And then once it's good to go, you can just come back here and then just bring it up, and just like that. Perfect. And just one thing to keep in mind about this is to make sure that, because sometimes there are some outlines by default on this. So for example, over here, sometimes you have a rectangle like this, right, where it has kind of borders along it, and you can see it kind of looks ugly here. We want it to blend in to the rest of the screen, which is why it's best to, if you have this problem, just, you see this dial, just bring that down to 0, and the border should go away, and it just blends in. All right, now we're going to add all the buttons that we need. So first we're going to go and add this button. We're going to make it a little smaller, so let's go with 50, for example. That's a little too small. Maybe 70, a little bit better. And of course, we want to add some text onto it. So again, we just go over here to costumes, and we just add some text. And we're going to use this as a clear button. So we're just going to say clear. And you can change the color of this one to just black, so it's a little bit easier to see. All right, and then we're just going to centralize this, and there we go. That's our clear button right there. All right, and then we're going to have two, so just bring this a little bit closer to the edge. We're going to have two buttons here, one pointing up and another pointing down, and we're going to use that for changing the size of whatever brush we're using. So we're going to create two squares. We're going to go over here, and we're going to create a nice square, but this one we want to change the color to there we go. That's a nice one. And then we just make a square, we centralize it, and we just add some shapes onto it. We can just draw an arrow. It needs to be a little bit larger than this, so let's get rid of this. And let's increase the size of this one. Let's add it to maybe 5, and then we can just draw it like that. And we centralize it, and then all right, and then all right, and then we're just going to place it over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate another one. And this one, we're just going to flip vertically. All right, so this one is the opposite direction, just like that. Just use it like that. And we're going to add another button over here called change background. So we're just going to put it over here, and we're going to make it a little bit smaller. So let's say 70, for example, and place it right there. And of course, we're going to go over here and add some text to it. and we're going to create two different text boxes, one saying change, another one saying background. And I used the white color for this one because it kind of looks nice. I don't know. I kind of like the white against the blue background over here. And we'll just put background over there and then change up top. Make sure it looks good. Looks nice. Awesome. Maybe a little bit more towards the left. Just like that. Awesome. All right, maybe it's actually a little too big. So let's go ahead and make it a little bit smaller. And if you want to make it a little bit smaller, you can just make this rectangle that you see around it a little bit smaller, and just makes the font smaller as well. So just like that. And then the same thing with the next one. Just select this, make it smaller, and bring it in the middle. All right, there we have it. And then we're going to put all the paints over there. So we're going to put first one over here, second one over there, third one over here. I'm just going to go in order. The fourth one is this one. Fifth one is this one. Sixth one is this one. Seventh one over here. The eighth one over here. The ninth. The 10th. And of course the 11th, which is the white one. It's over here. It's a little hard to see, but there we have it. All right, and then you can maybe shuffle it around a little bit so the spacing is all correct. So I'm just going to make it look a little bit nicer. Bring these over here. All right, wonderful. That looks really good. All right. And that's basically the basic setup that we have over here. There's just one more thing that we want to cover because you might encounter this problem. We didn't encounter it right here, but sometimes you might encounter the problem where when you're placing stuff over here, all of a sudden you see some of the stuff falls behind this background color that we've created. Because this rectangle, this gray rectangle that we made, is supposed to be the background for our workstation, right? It's supposed to be where all of our buttons are placed, all the paints are placed, and it's supposed to be the background. But sometimes, let's say you're dragging a button and you all of a sudden see the button is going below the rectangle. So it's very important to just make sure this doesn't happen. And if it does happen, you can always just go over here and use this command over here, which says go to which layer, right? So you just make sure it goes to the back layer, right? You put that on this rectangle and you just click on it once. And just like that, it goes to the back layer. Because look at it. If I tried it with the front layer, look at what happens there. It just covers everything, right? Everything goes below it. But when it's the back layer, it goes to the back, all right? And we want it to be in the back. All right, so just make sure that you fix that if that issue arises. But all right, that was the basic setup for this program. Just make sure you have all those things in place, and we're going to start programming all these different elements from the next video. So get that straight and join me in the next one.